This is intended for review only. It is not intended to cover all aspects of the competency and does not cover all safety precautions. Do not attempt the operation unless you have participated in the classroom demonstration and have the instructor's permission. This competency is radiator pressure testing and cooling system inspection. To do this competency, you're going to need a vehicle, preferably a vehicle that's cold, that is not hot. You'll need an antifreeze tester, you'll need the radiator pressure tester, and the adapters to fit whatever vehicle you're working on. The first step is to remove the radiator pressure cap. He feels it to make sure it's not hot, push down and turn. Now he needs to read the pressure on the top of the cap to know what pressure to pressurize the cooling system to. Okay, it's a 16-pound cap. He's going to pressurize it to 10% less than 16, or about 14.4. With the radiator cap position in that position, with the tester lever in that position, that will release the pressure. With it in the position he has it now, that will keep the pressure in. Depending on how low the coolant is, you may have to pump for quite a while to get pressure built up in the cooling system. All right, now he's determined that he's got a massive coolant leak in this engine. It's not building pressure, and coolant, as you can see, is pouring out of the engine. Let's take a shot down there. That coolant is coming out of the water pump, which we know needs to be replaced. So at this point, this engine has failed the radiator pressure test. If this cooling system were operating properly, he'd be able to bring this pressure up to about 14. But as you can see, he cannot get it up that high. All right, so once he has the pressure at 14, in this case we can't do it because it's leaking, it needs to hold that pressure for 3 minutes. So you'd set it, then you're going to go around with your hands and check all the hoses. You grab onto the hose and squeeze it hard all the way around. Upper and lower radiator hose and both heater hoses. This car, because the hood's off, is particularly easy to check them. In both heater hoses. The supply and the return hose, and they feel fine. Those hoses that go through the firewall are hooked to the heater core. He needs to go in and check the inside of the car at the passenger feet and make sure the carpeting is not wet. He's feeling for any moisture on or under the carpet. This would be the indication that he's got a leak in the heater core. Once that portion of the test is complete, you'll remove the pressure tester from the radiator. Always be sure before you turn it that you remove the pressure. That cap, if you don't relieve the pressure before you take it off, could come through and could hurt you very bad. All right, we get the pressure tester off to the side for the time being. He's now going to check the freeze point and boil point of the coolant using that tester. When using the coolant temperature and freeze point tester, make sure you fill it and that you have it perfectly level before you take your reading. On this, always look at the red needle, hold it perfectly level so the top needle is in the bullseye. We're going to read the bottom needle. This coolant, and we can see it's weak, will only protect this car to 12 degrees Fahrenheit. In Wisconsin, we want to have a minimum of 35 below zero. This coolant, and again, you can see that it's weak because it's so clear, will freeze at 12 degrees. If the coolant freezes, it will destroy the engine and can take out the radiator and the heater core. The pressure cap has two valves, as you know, pressure relief and vacuum relief. This is the pressure relief valve, and this is the vacuum relief valve. He will demonstrate how to test the pressure relief section of this valve. PSI cap, because he read the top. He's going to pump it, and it should hold a 14.5 pounds. Once he's at 14.5 pounds, he's going to let it sit. It should hold that pressure without dropping more than a pound for 1 minute. If it does not hold that, the cap needs to be replaced. If it does, you're done with the test.
I don't think I can get it.
He can't even get it up to 14.5 pounds. Cap's rated at 16, and as you can plainly see, that it's only holding 12.